What's going on, y'all? What's going on, world? Well, especially YouTube. It's your main man. Your main man is back to author with a foot to that ass. With that, bringing that reality again is another one. Yo, what's going on, man? I ain't made a video in like about a year, man. It's been a long time. I've been busy, man, trying to get fit, man. Trying to do that swimming, trying to do that running, But I only make a video when I have something really to say. When I have something to say. So I had an idea, man, and it's just something I want to bring to the forefront in terms of and speaking directly to black men or malehood or manhood uh, in general. Here's the thing, man. I mean, with this feminist movement that's been going on since actually it's been going on since the late 1800s. It's been three waves of feminism, and now we're in wave three. First wave in the 1800s, I think they wanted to vote. Second wave, and majority it was middle class white women who started that feminist movement. They wanted to vote. Second wave, they wanted to compete with men. That came around in the 70s with the Billie Jean King type thing, beating a guy in a tennis match. And in the third wave they're in now, where they're not sure what they want to do. They want to have the freedom to get in porn and stuff like that. So it's probably come full circle because it's ridiculous in the first place. But here's the thing, man. Black men need to be very mindful, man. And there's really not too many, or at least on the internet, I don't see too many black men talking to other black men on a serious tip. I mean, they might talk to you through the UPK, ISUPK, where some of those guys wear skirts, and then they talk to you, the Muslims, and they might talk to you. They talk at you, and they talk to you from the African Imhotep type style when they were actually born here in America, and then they talk about Africa, a place they probably never been, or even if they have visited, you're not African, bro. You're born right here in the U.S. It's like, yo, man. All blacks. You got to figure it was blacks all around the globe, all around the planet. Just cause some white archaeologist told you that the first man was found in Africa doesn't mean it was true, man. It was blacks over here. Native Americans, the real Native Americans, the real blacks were right here in the U.S. We were the first people here. But that's another video. But my point is, man, I don't want to get off topic, but the black men should be mindful, man. They're gonna try you, man. And what I mean by, we used to say that in the street, they're gonna try you. What I mean is they're gonna test you, man. Basically with this new wave you got another generation coming up. But with the full fledged feminism has brought on a lot of things that the black community didn't have before. So with the rise in black males, or you might have noticed too, some of the black males now, especially I know versus when I was growing up, there's a lot more femininity in the black male. I repeat, there's a lot more femininity in the black, especially in the black young boy. I mean, we're working on now two or three generations of black boys being raised by single mothers, and it's going to have a thunderous impact to the psyche. Not having a father, not having a weak father is not good either. But I mean, not having a father or not having a male adult at all is going to eventually take its toll. And in my generation, it took its toll where we were more wayward in terms of bad, and some of us wanted to commit crimes and things like that. But if that continues, you're going to have more, the next generation might be more feminine, then another generation is going to be more, they want to be homosexual, and then it's going to keep continue to snowball into, a transsexual and transgendered, and it just keeps going, man, until basically you start, fucking animals, man. I mean, it's just not gonna stop, right? So with all that, with the RuPaul type thing, and that they have now, where a lot of these reality shows have black females on VH1, acting, like they're out of their minds and things like that. But they give more of the black female shows than they will serious black men because of the clown element. You know, with the black females on VH1 on these reality shows today is quite similar to the Bojangles buck dancing in the mid 50s, man. I wasn't around to see it, but I mean, if you go on YouTube, you can pull up those old videos, and that's what it's similar to, man. It's just a big ass character on caricature, not a character, but a caricature on TV. You know, like them cartoons where everything is a, you know, when you're growing up, you saw those cartoons when we used to read the paper. You saw those cartoons where they exaggerate the size of somebody's nose and their chin, and they do a cartoon of Jay Leno, and they'll have his chin 5 times bigger than his actual chin. That's the type of behavior that they show in those VH1 shows. I was watching. I can't even watch the whole thing. I was watching a little bit the other day, like the basketball, like the hip hop wives, and all that bullshit. It's just like it seems like if white females have a reality show, then black females have to follow it and make it and try to, you know, make a reality show. But you know what that's based on, you know, black females wanting to be white, no matter how much they try to deny it. Excuse me, it's the reality of it. That's where the extensions and the weave and all that shit comes from. But uh, going to the black man, they're gonna try you, man, because black male masculinity, the super masculinity that used to be identified with us since the days, probably since the beginning. But you know, especially since Jack Johnson, the boxer, and you know how you know he you know used to fight, you know, the white guys back in the day. You can Google his name if you're not sure who he is, but he was a black world heavyweight champion. He used to beat up like a lot of white guys, and he used to sleep with their wives and stuff like that. But so you know, you had to. I think they made a rule because I think one time Jack Johnson had like 6 white girls in the car with him. Of course, he banged them all, and he was taking them across state lines, and they made some type of law, man, where you can't really bring people across. You know, they made some type of racial law because they said largely because of that. But the black male masculinity, man, that used to exist is slowly on the decline based on the RuPaul, and you know they're showing these VH1 shows with these black females that black females are looking more and more masculine, and the black male is looking more and more feminine. So they're doing this role reversal type thing, and I think they're headed towards this transhumanism type shit. Basically with that type of situation, with people, especially in the U.S., this is a TV watching country, right? You know, they got you got people who can't go without TV, man. You know, and now they have so many other even on the internet. So now you don't just have Time Warner and AT&T and you know Cox and stuff like that, but or not. I think Time Warner is gone, but Spectrum. You don't just have Spectrum and AT&T. You know, now you have Apple TV. You got YouTube. Even got their own TV now. You got Netflix. You know, you got Epics. You know, you got all this stuff. Amazon TV. You know, all $5 and $10 a piece. Plus, some people got actual cable. So some people spend a lot of money on the entertainment dollar, right? And so even when you watch the nightly news, man, you're starting to see a downswing, a down, less respect for the black man in general. Because even though economically our people, you know, have been on the bottom since about 1860, you know, blacks owned about, I think on the eve of the Civil War, blacks owned about what 0.5% of all America's wealth, and today it's probably about the same thing. Blacks own about 1.5% of all America's wealth. So we're on the bottom as a whole, but even being and you know being on the bottom, black male masculinity has still been a big thing that's been either feared or loved by other races for a very long time, and we've shown our dominance in sports and basketball and football, boxing especially, you know, and so, but you know, back when I was growing up, you didn't really see as many, you didn't see really RuPaul and all that shit. Like when I was a kid in the '80s, watching TV. I remember with my grandparents, we watched Amen with Sherman Hemsley, uh, 227, right? And what was the other? The Cosby Show, right? One of the greatest shows that was ever. I think in terms of a black show, like that's probably the best that it's gonna get for us. Where we can have a show where really it's not really a type of thing where it's like a quote unquote black show, but it's black people that pretty much are I think Bill Cosby played a doctor and his wife was a lawyer, and it wasn't exaggerated. It was just very wholesome, and it showed black people as being very respectable. And we used to watch the Cosby Show every Thursday night. It was very motivational. That's the only way I heard about college because my grandparents didn't finish high school. I was raised mostly by my grandparents and my mother. But I mean, my mother wasn't a college graduate at the time either. Um, I think she later went on and got her 2 year when she was in her 40s, but that doesn't really help me growing up. But uh, you heard about I heard about college mostly through Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show, and then the spinoff It's a Different World. So what's my point, man? Well, my point is you don't have those shows anymore, man. In the '90s, you had Fresh Prince, and like I said, I liked it because I used to watch, Fresh Prince. He was when he was a rapper, and then he got into the Fresh Prince of Bel Air show, and it was cool. Phil was a lawyer, even though you still had a little bit of that good times type spin on it because Will Smith was kind of like Jimmy Walker. So it was a little bit of the stereotype, they did have some serious episodes, and Phil kind of evened it out. I forget that actor. He passed away. He was a great actor. He kind of felt, Then you had Martin, which was just strictly a funny show. But you can see slowly but surely we were starting to edge away from the Cosbys and head back toward that black exploitation shit with Coffee Brown and I'm sorry, the movie with the movie with I think it was Pam Grier when she played in that black exploitation movie Coffee, and then I think later on she played in Foxy Brown, right? So the '70s was more about that black exploitation. I got another video I just saw that I made about 3 years 3 years ago when I talked about the black exploitation films, pretty much giving fuel to the new hip hop hardcore gangster movement. It kind of all rolls into one. But basically, slowly but surely, and then after Martin, later on, I think in the 2000, it was Meet the Browns and Soul Plane and shit like that. So you started to get, they get you 80s sitcoms was pretty much the highest, most respectable TV images that we were gonna get from black. But I don't think black people are ever gonna have a sitcom that's gonna outdo the Cosby Show, or that's gonna outdo Amen, or that's gonna outdo It's a Different World, or that's gonna outdo 227. But the Cosby being the pinnacle, being the height of that pyramid, you're never gonna get anything better because before this, the '80s, it was the '70s with the Good Times, which was kind of cool, but you did have that Dynamite, and that was cool, but it was still had that some of that exploitation in it, right? So basically my point is now with black TV is very poisonous. When you fast forward to 2020, I didn't grow up with this shit where you had the RuPaul shit and cross transvestites, black male transvestitism being glorified, and transgender, and it makes it look like gay now is not too bad. It's like it keeps getting worse, and like goddamn, you only gay? Okay, like being gay was the worst thing. Just as a kid, if your pants were too tight, they said you was gay, and it's like stupid shit like that. But back in the day, being gay seemed like the worst thing. But now, I mean, shit, they didn't move far beyond gay. It's just not gay. Is not even. It's almost normal. It's like in some way they've merged blackness and being gay. Like when they merged the civil rights movement and this feminist movement. I mean, very strange. It's like just so how is being black equated with being gay? We were the last ones who were like that because when I was growing up, it was mostly all I saw was white people that was like that. You know what I'm saying? But now you see an upsurge of black boys not wanting to be men, not only not wanting to be men, not wanting a girl and not wanting a woman, not feeling comfortable in their own skin, and that's a crime, man. You're not giving these kids a chance. So with that being said, black male masculinity, if a black boy doesn't value black male masculinity, that's the beginning of the end because the rest of the world is not going to value black male masculinity. Um, so you're going to have more and more disrespect out here. I see it in small ways. Like this, it's a lady. I typically go by my middle name, and she wants to call me by my first name, and I'm gonna have to put her in her place. But you see it in small ways. It's certain you can be in a store, or you could be at a certain place, and you just feel like people just want to try you. I felt somebody behind me pushing a buggy, trying to make me feel like I'm in their way. I have to get out of everybody's way in the store when you can go around me. That's it, I'm not because I'm not playing that slave shit. My grandmother had to put up with that. I'm not putting up with that shit. She pulled me out of the way of white people in the 80s when they were reaching for a box of cereal. She'll pull me out of the way. Maybe you guys had your grandmothers do that too, but she was raised in a small town in Georgia in the 30s and 40s where that Jim Crow shit was still pretty strong, man. And she probably saw people hanging from trees. She never talked about it. I mean, she talked about it a little bit. She did say she had to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I had to ask about that though. But yeah, yeah. So they no telling. I mean, nobody wants to talk about it, but you should because we need to know this. Because when it changes forms, but if it keeps going, I can not be blind to it. And a lot of blacks are feeling like they have to emulate white men in order to be right. I've noticed that too. Like I think somebody had a book out. Was it might have been a comedian? Was it Paul Mooney or someone said the what is it? He said something like the white is the new black or black is the new white or something like that. So blacks trying to copy and emulate what they the mannerisms of white people. And I'm not saying that means that you shouldn't talk properly and enunciate and things like that. I think enunciating and things of that nature is not a white thing. That's just an educated thing. But when you try to, for example, when you try to go in a all Irish white pub and you sit there and you congregate with people and you notice they treat you with some disrespect, right? And then you wonder why is it happening? You see, that's a person, and it's happening even though you talk just like everyone else, and why do they have that standoff behavior with you? Um, that happens, man. That people, a lot of people, this new generation is not going to understand why that's happening, but that's that barrier they put up because they know, they put a good show. Now, not to say all whites are racist, but when you get in certain situations where you're the only black person and you're surrounded by white people, then they can usually show you who they really are. So you will get some of that standoff behavior, unless you own a joint, right? But my point is, black male masculinity is going to go down the toilet, man. It's going to continue. The more it's being attacked, because what people don't realize is, uh, the more you, just like the thing, a good example with the rapper Kwame. All right, he was a rapper in like the late '80s. He did an interview, and they asked him about the state of hip hop, and he said that hip hop, he said, prior to 1992, and I started listening around 87, 88. And he's right. He said prior to 1992, he said most rappers didn't even curse in their music because uh, because it just wasn't necessary, right? It wasn't necessary, right? And he said that rappers spent more time trying to convince the world that you know, and most rappers back then in the late in the 80s before 92 were black men, right? They try to convince the world that they were not drug dealers, they weren't thieves, they weren't killers. They were educated people that had a voice, you know? And he said, you tell me if hip hop is about that now. He's like, I don't know. He's like, all I know is these cats are telling you that they are a killer. They will rob you and they will shoot you. Even if they got $6 million in the bank, they will stick you up because they all about this money. He said they're all about the paper. He said I cannot make this up. And he was saying that the state of black hip hop now is a parody of it's like that Bojangles type shit. It's a parody of what people used to make fun of and say that's black music. Black music has become uh, what blacks used to make fun of. So it's a parody. So what he's saying is, um, our people have embraced the they have embraced the stereotypes. So shit that racist white people used to say about black people that they were killers, drug dealers. Now younger blacks want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand why he was saying that they didn't curse in their music and stuff like that, because he realized, and a lot of those guys realized one thing: when you see a black male on TV, right, and when he's rapping or whatever he's doing, the rest of the world sees him, and then they judge. They see him, they internalize that, and then they look at the black men in the street, people that they walk past in the street, they compare that to what they see, right? So what I do in the world, or what another black man does in the world, not only impacts him, it impacts all of us, because the images that they see, they internalize, they believe, right? So when somebody puts an image out of you keep seeing black men who are successful, who are bankers, who are doctors, who are lawyers. They're teachers. They're the alphas. They make a certain amount, upwards of 50,000 a year. Or even more. They're more or less the alphas. And you keep seeing that. Not only will the race internalize that, but other people will see that, so they be like, damn, what I mean, you got to respect these people. So if you go outside in the street, you see a black man walking outside the street, you assume that, hey man, what's up? You respect him. But if you see a lot of blacks on TV slinging dope, saying they'll kill you, saying they'll rob you, saying they'll stick you up, saying they'll cheat you, saying they'll fuck your girl, saying even if you his friend, he'll still fuck your girl and your sister. That all type of bullshit. Then that's what you're gonna internalize. So when you see another black person out in the street, oh shit, I can't trust him. Now I'm not saying that they're not other, I'm not saying that certain people don't grow up with being told to look out for blacks anyway. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, when you project images, that shit doesn't help the stereotype at all. At all. At all. At all. That adds fuel to that big ass fire. So especially if you continue to see black men as transsexuals, transgenders, confused, that they feel like they have to be like an Irish person or an Italian person in order to be knowledgeable. That's a weakness. That's a weakness. That's a defect in the race, and they see that. And I'm wondering why you starting to see an uprise of more black men getting shot and stuff like that. And because when I was growing up, it seemed like more cops were kind of standoff, like, whoa, let me see what this one's gonna do. They weren't so fast to jump out and disrespect you. But now I'm seeing people in general, they'll treat you a certain way, and I'm like, wait, I didn't even say my name. I didn't even say any words. Why are they coming at me in this type of way? And then you have to correct that. like this other child. I'm gonna have to correct. So you have to correct that. And when you correct that, when you correct the person who has you, because they have you, some people will see you and they'll have one image in their mind of who they think you should be, but you know who you are. So when you put that person in line, you're not only doing yourself a favor, you're doing black men around the country and around the world a favor. Because the next time she sees another black man, she might be like, whoa, I got to show some respect here. Or not even get in contact, no, not even come at him at all wrong. I can't assume, because some of these people, they've been dealing with the same type of blacks for so long. They on autopilot. I can treat him disrespectful. I can treat him disrespectful. I can treat this one disrespectful. I can treat that one disrespectful. So on and so forth. And then they just go, they go on like that. None of these white racist cops are on autopilot. Some of them have had 2 or 3 kills of black people, especially here in Charlotte, and they still allowed to stay on the force and keep their badges. That's the lack of respect, for our race, our people, stuff like that. So I'm not any pro-black advocate or anything like that. No, I think the Black Lives Matter movement is a joke, and I question, even some of the civil rights movement. Like I kind of question that as well, because I think we were better off when we were just in our communities, when we had Black Wall Street, where it was a type of thing where, hey man, I mean, like I heard in Black Wall Street, in Oklahoma, man, the black dollar used to turn around in the black community like 200 something times. The black dollar, they said, used to stay in the black community for like a year before it went out of the community. That's what I heard. So I can see why anyone would want to break that up. But I didn't mean to go on different tangents. But my main point is, I think black male masculinity. If black male masculinity gets is devalued and made fun of in the press and on TV and movies, I mean it's gonna happen more in day-to-day life. And the attack of black male masculinity has been going on, since slavery, even before movies and music. But my point is, media has a powerful impact. Most people you could talk to all around the world watch. I mean, except for the third world countries that are so poor where they don't have TV, most people are entertainment junkies, man. They watch some type of TV. I can't talk to anybody who doesn't have a Netflix account. How many people you could talk to that don't have Spectrum or AT&T service? How many people you could talk to that don't have Amazon? That entertainment shapes people, man. I think that, because I was thinking at first that it was art, uh, imitating life. But now I think it's the opposite, where they're trying to come up with some type of these ideas and these concepts, and they're trying to project those concepts on people. And they're planting seeds about through this media and through music and stuff like that. So they're using that, I believe, to attack people's psyche, to control them. And the black man is always first on the list, man. So black male masculinity is black male masculinity is gonna continue to get attacked over and over and over again, and it's gonna be up to you or whoever to put people in their place. I'm not saying you have to go out there and fight and shoot people and stuff like that, but the small things, man. If you feel like someone is disrespecting you, let them know. Especially any race, even black women, especially black women. But I mean, you have to let people know, man, especially from other races, because I'm not saying make a big deal out of it or get yourself locked up. I mean, sometimes if things happen, King got locked up. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not projecting that. But I'm just saying, let people know, man. If there's something that you don't like, let them know. Because you're not only doing yourself a favor, you're doing the whole group a favor. Because I mean, they do have this we are the world. Oh yeah, only one race, and it's the human race. Well, okay, man. Then why don't we all have the same or similar amount of resources. Why can't I go to your house and ask for a long, hey man, we're both a part of the human race. Why don't you just, give me that $100,000 job? I'm qualified. You want to see my resume? I mean, we're all part of the human race, right? Yeah, right. But just wanna make up, man. I had this. This is a little bit too long, but just wanted to check in, man. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, please share. Because I'm not signed with no rich guy or no business. You know, uh, some of these guys have side deals and side. They have they might be on someone's I don't know, label, or they're with some group or MGTOW or something like that, so they're guaranteed to get so many likes. And I'm a lone proprietor out here, man. I do my own thing, but I like it like that because I can speak how I want to speak. I don't have to, you know, uh, tap dance to anyone else's tune. I'd rather have a small amount of likes and a small amount of views and be able to project my own thoughts and my own views versus, being in contact with someone else, but then have to follow the script that they want me to say and do what they want me to do. So I mean that's not freedom. All right, but y'all take care, man. Y'all stay safe.